What's going on, folks? Ted from Nerd Immersion here. I was literally about to jump in the shower to then head down to PAX Unplugged, and we have what could be the biggest news in terms of Dungeons and Dragons and Wizards of the Coast and D&D Beyond in a very, very long time. It is officially here. We now have third-party content, or at least we will in a couple of weeks, third-party content on D&D Beyond. And not just any third-party content. We're talking Ghostfire Gaming content and Dungeon Dudes content, although that kind of fits into both. But either way, it's now a thing. Let's take a look. Here we go. Right up from the front page of D&D Beyond, you can pre-order Dungeons of Drakkenheim, the Dungeon Dudes. This was, I think, their Kickstarter. And it will be available for $29.99 on December 21st. It says an epic cosmic horror fueled DM ready campaign for levels 1 to 13. Over 50 new monsters, NPCs, and legendary creatures. Empower characters with 40 plus new magic items, 14 new spells, and 5 new backgrounds, bringing the world of Drakkenheim to life with mechanics for personal quests, rivals, scheming, factions, and urban exploration. Detailed maps for use within D&D Beyond maps, and then there's also frighten your players and build on your horror fantasy campaign with Layers of Aetheris, the other Ghostfire Gaming content here, available currently, right now, for $14.99. It is third party. It is also map accessible here, so explore 20 ready-made horror fantasy adventures for level 1 to 20 with maps for each one. 75 plus new horror-themed monsters in the D&D Beyond Encounter Builder, which means they're already plugged into the Encounter Builder and ready to go, and learn to salvage their remains to craft new magic items. A host of new player options, including 2 new feats, 7 spells, and 10 magic items that are usable in the D&D Beyond Character Builder, and it said it contains both Layers of Aetheris Volumes 1 and 2. So we had actually heard about this at the Content Creator Summit in April, that they were looking to expand D&D Beyond into a more marketplace-like atmosphere. The concept was that of something they akin to like a Steam. We're obviously not there yet, but this is, some pretty major third-party stuff, and I imagine that this is just the first domino to fall. So what's really interesting is that these are going to be, one, usable in the Encounter Builder. It's going to be plugged into D&D Beyond maps, so they're really going to sell you on a variety of their other stuff. I'm not calling this the death of virtual tabletops, because also they have their own virtual tabletop that they're working on. But what's ultimately very interesting is that we are now seeing this, and it's basically going to be, at least Dungeons of Drakkenheim will be available December 21st. And again, Layers of Aetheris are available right now. Like, you can go get that for $14.99, add it to your cart. And what's crazy is, like I said, it's accessible in the D&D Beyond Character Builder. Now, for some of you, that may not seem like a big deal, but I know from personal experience and from talking with other DMs, they have players that are basically like, if it doesn't exist in D&D Beyond, it doesn't exist for me. I have a ton of awesome Cobalt Press content and Jetpack 7 and 2C Gaming and 1,000 other third-party stuff that I've received from various folks over the years, whether in PDF or in physical form. And I love to use expanded content because, one, there's a lot of opportunity to customize and find cool, unique things that might suit the situation perfectly. But also, if your players are used to the same subclass option, feat options, race, spell, magic item options, different stuff is enticing and exciting for them to experience. But I've been with people that, like, D&D Beyond has spoiled people to the point where if they can't easily access whatever the thing is within D&D Beyond proper, they don't want to use it. Now, yes, there is homebrew features in D&D Beyond, and it does take a little bit of nuancy stuff to get there, and you can do some of that yourself. but it's ultimately that much better when it's built and designed by the D&D Beyond team, ready to roll out. So yeah, this is the first third-party content, or at least I guess you could say the second, because previously we did have Critical Role appear in here, where you could get the Tal'Dorei campaign setting revised or redux or whatever they were calling it. That was previously the only kind of third-party content that we got in full form on D&D Beyond. But some people kind of consider that a different level because it's Critical Role. But if you take a look at this, check this out. If you go over sources, look, it's pink here that the Tal'Dorei campaign setting is from Darrington Press, Layers of Atheris, Ghostfire Gaming, Dungeons of Drakkenheim, Dungeon Dudes. You could see something on here potentially in the future that says Nerd Immersion, right? I don't know what the deal is, to be completely honest with you. I don't know how that working has to work. Obviously, I'm assuming money changes hands and there's contracts and things involved, right? There has to be. But how does that work? How accessible is that to the everyday person, right? These are larger names in Dungeon Dudes, Critical Role, larger names in the D&D creator space, right? Something like the DM's Guild exists and is accessible for folks to be able to just go put something out on the DM's Guild. Anybody can do that. You or I could do that right now, and there's really only very few limitations on what has to be there, right? You could literally just put out a white background, basically Word document with all of your text, as long as it has like all the attributions that it needs to have, and then a white blank front cover, excuse me, that just says the name of your thing. Nothing's stopping you from doing that. It might not sell that well compared to somebody else who has custom layouts and flashy covers and stuff like that. But my point is, anyone can do it. What is going to be the process to get your content on D&D Beyond? Technically, again, if you go with the concept of like a Steam, if you have a game and it meets Steam's requirements, there's really nothing stopping you from putting it out on Steam. Now, obviously, if it's not the best, it won't do as well in the sales and things, but that's really up to you. This is extremely exciting and an interesting avenue that we're seeing. I know the Dungeon Dudes are going to be at PAX Unplugged, as is Wizards of the Coast, so if I can get any more information on any of this that I can talk to you about, I definitely will. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.